There's something to be said that my best year in business, it's no mistake that coincided with losing 50 pounds. I know I talk a lot about business and business strategy on this show because, after all, this is a show for women in business. But here's the thing. We are so much more than business. And what I have gathered from all the clients I have seen and my own personal experience, our business is a direct reflection of the things that are happening in our personal lives. Without a fruitful life, we cannot have a fruitful business. Now, by no means am I going to tell you that your life has to be perfect to have a successful business. But what I am saying is that when you work on the things in your personal life and you really dive into personal goals and relationships and those areas that maybe have been neglected because you're focusing on spreadsheets and business strategy and content and all of those things. When we focus on those areas that are often in the shadows or put on the back burner, it not only helps to get us back to baseline, but it also opens up our mind to business possibilities that we maybe weren't seeing before because we were suffocating these very important things in our life. One of the first things I want to talk to you about is my recent weight loss journey. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to pitch you like a Roe commercial and be Serena Williams here and tell you to get on GLP. This is not about GLP-1s. What this is about is feeling really connected and good in your body. Now, if you are new here or maybe you followed me for a long time, I'm going to tell you that fitness is not new to me. Moving my body is not new to me. I have been an athlete in my own right for the last 15 years. And I even owned a brick and mortar gym for 5 years of my life and helped hundreds of people improve their health and wellness and mindset. So why couldn't I lose weight? I don't know. That's a question that we leave up to the universe. But I was really struggling. And this was something that really bothered me because the amount of effort I put into the gym and the amount of effort I put into eating well and being mindful about my sleep and my stress and all of those things, I felt like my outside didn't match the inside. And maybe you might be thinking that's a patriarchal way of thinking, like your outside is what it is, but it bothered me. It was a me thing. When I started microdosing GLPs and going on this journey, I see and feel the person I have always felt that's on the inside, and it's been life-changing. There's something to be said that my best year in business, it's no mistake that coincided with losing 50 pounds. I am far more connected to who I am in my body. I am also more confident. I also feel like my clothes, the way I wear them, I feel like I'm wearing the clothes. The clothes are not wearing me. I also don't feel like I'm wearing things to cover me up anymore. I really feel like I'm wearing things that make me come alive. And so whatever your feelings are about GLPs, try to put that aside and really think about, what does your health journey look like? Are you moving your body? Are you connected to your body? Are you nourishing yourself well? Are you hydrating? Those are all things that are affecting your bottom line. If getting in more steps and being outside and moving your body is something you have on your radar, but you haven't done the thing, you haven't started, I want to invite you to join my free walking community. We meet either in person or virtual every Wednesday. So it's not even something you have to do every day. It's once a week. And it's so simple. You literally post a selfie in the group and we all get to celebrate movement for that day. It's called Walk the Walk, okay? And I'm going to put the link down below so that you can join us, and it's completely free and it's so fun and a great way to get reconnected and be in community. When I was reflecting back on this past year, because in order to grow or make changes moving forward, we have to understand where we just came from. And when I think about what really clicked for me this year? Why did I have such a good year in business? One of the other things that really stuck out to me about this past year is the amount of play I integrated into my life. I know you might not expect this, but it's actually really hard for me to relax and have fun. I am, in general, most people would describe me as like a really like vivacious, fun, outgoing person. That's why I said it might be, a shock. But to let loose and like really be myself and not worry about the outcome or not have to be like, okay, I'm taking care of this, I'm hosting this event is really, really hard. So this year, I wanted to invite more play and spontaneity into my life. So I did that in a couple of ways. The first way I did that was with my daughter. She got really into card games this year. So as a family, we played a lot of Uno, we played a lot of garbage. We got to laugh a lot and have that fun, just playfulness again of being a kid and playing a game, and you're not playing to win. It's like a lot of times we just stopped the game halfway. There was no winner. It was about just being together and laughing and playing a game. I also take a monthly art class with a friend of mine, Amanda. She hosts Art for the Heart. And listen, I am the furthest thing from an artist. I would consider myself a professional doodler, though. And taking the time once a month to be with other women and be a participant and be led to that inner child part of myself who just wants to like create art, create something, has been so freeing. The other thing I would say, like in terms of play and creativity, is I get out of the country once a year. I cannot tell you how impactful that is on my business. Taking a trip, being with other women, laughing, playing, not having an agenda. It's transformative because you're not a mom for a week, like not talking to clients, you're not on call, you don't have to remember to wash the dishes, fold the laundry. You, for 7 days or however long you plan your trip, get to be present. And that, my friends, is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. And if you're anything like me, like I just said, it's hard for me to like disconnect and get into like that play creative mode. Forcing myself to get out of the country and be a participant in life and have nothing on the calendar except be where my feet are is game changing. Plus, being with other really fun women helps. And I'm not talking about a trip with your family, okay, because that is stressful. I'm sorry. Every time I go away with a trip with my family, I'm stressed because I've got to pack for my daughter. I've got to worry about, did she take medication? Did I, put enough underwear in the bag for everybody? Like, where are we going to eat? Are there foods that everyone likes, right? And that is stressful. I'm talking about taking a trip for you. If that's something you're interested in, I'm also going to drop the link to the trip for Slovenia this summer. Slovenia is considered the secret crown jewel of Europe, and it's a really great way to, again, be waited on, show up, be with other women, connect. This is not a business trip. This is truly a trip for pleasure, for joy, and for connection. Lastly, when I look back at last year and I think about one of the biggest areas in my life that changed for me was my relationship with my ex. Now, we still don't see everything eye to eye. Somewhere along the way of last year, we decided to get on the same page for our daughter, who we both love very much, and have learned to somehow co-parent. I thought this would never happen. We are 6 years divorced. It wasn't looking so great up until this last year. I don't know if they say time heals wounds. There wasn't like one thing that really happened that, shifted everything. It just started to happen. And I'm so grateful because the amount of pressure a bad relationship puts on your life is harmful. And that seeps into your business. And even if you're not divorced, being married and having children, like, you still have to co-parent. I have coached many women through divorce. I've also coached many women in saving their marriages. And what it takes is two people showing up for the common goal of their child. And if you don't have children, but you have or in a relationship or have a rocky relationship, I'm going to highly recommend you put energy into either cutting the relationship off or putting in the energy to say the thing that needs to be said so that the relationship can be mended. A lot of times, for example, in co-parenting, there is no option to cut it off. You can't just cut the person out of your life because you have a child. So if you do or are in a situation where a relationship is consuming your thoughts, you might have the opportunity to cut it off. And that might be the best thing. But also, what are ways that you could potentially salvage the relationship if that's important to you? Because I guarantee you, how you do anything is how you do everything. And if you have a relationship that is toxic, it is definitely impacting the way you're showing up on social media, the way you're showing up for your clients, because your brain is constantly thinking about it. To wrap this all up, this year, I want you to think about the unconventional places in your life that maybe you haven't thought about in a while or you think is not important, and spend a little time watering those seeds, because you'll be surprised at the harvest that will grow from that effort. An easy way to do this is drawing a circle on a piece of paper. This is like one of the oldest life coach tricks in the book. It's called the Wheel of Life. And you divide it like slices of pie. And you put all the different aspects of your life, right? Some are basic, like you could just put relationships, or you could put family, friends, right? You could divide your relationships in that way, or you could even say family, romantic relationship, and friends. It's however nuanced you want to get. If this is your first time, keep it really simple and maybe just put relationships. You could also do your health. You could do your finances. You could do your business or career. You can do your spirituality. So these are all the areas that make up our life. And then score it from 1 to 10. So 1 being like, this area is super shit, and 10 is this area is amazing. And once you have your scores, think about, okay, we're not going to, this is not about amplifying everything at the same time, because again, it doesn't work that way. But if you have mostly 7 to 10s and you have one area that's like a 3, it's worth your time to think about, why is that area a 3? And what would be different if you got that area up to like a 7? And what would it take? It's not about having everything at a 10, okay? I also want to say that, because that's impossible and that's putting irrational expectations on yourself. What it's about is balance. And sometimes you are going to have things that are like 2s and 3s and you are up here at 10, but you can't sustain life at that way. It doesn't work. So a good sweet spot is that you have most things around a 7. You might have a couple 10s and a couple 4s or 5s, but in general, really trying to get things as balanced and harmonious as possible. I love the word harmony over balance, because if you think of a sheet of music, right, you have the notes all over the place. They're not perfectly in a straight row, because that would just be one note. But the fluctuation of the notes create a beautiful harmony. And so that is the way we do life. It is harmonious. Not everything's going to be the same all the time. But how we do anything is how we do everything. And if you feel like, man, I'm giving everything to my business, I don't understand why I'm not seeing more results, go do the Wheel of Life and it'll tell you exactly why. This is the kind of stuff I love to do. And oftentimes when my clients come into my container, we of course work on sales. We of course work on business strategy. But often if like your partner isn't being supportive, or you have massive money mindset blocks, or you have a kid with special needs. Just taking a linear path through business doesn't work. You need something that works for you. When you find that, it's like your cage has been officially unlocked. And that's what we're doing here, friends. So thanks for being here. We'll be back here next week. If this video resonated with you, please be sure to share it with a friend. Subscribe. It means the world to me, and it helps this show grow more than you know. Okay, babe, go out and do anything so that you can have everything.